one in my entire khandan has, like a woman in my entire khandan has ever gone out, stepped out of the house and had a career professionally. So I was like the one person in the entire bloodline to begin this.
Tick, tick, boom. We're bringing the noise. Go, baby, we bringing our toys.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
I'm delighted to be here.
We're really excited to have you here on the show. And before we begin, can you please introduce yourself? And I would request you to, include a little bit about yourself, about your family, where you are originally from, and how your friends and relatives would describe you.
Okay. So, my name is Gulafsha Sheikh, and I'm basically from Bombay, but my roots are from Lucknow. But you will never be able to find that nazakat wala situation in me. And as per my background, I mean, in my family, I have my dad and my mom, but we are like a joint family. My brother's also there. My father's been an architect all his life, but now he's retired and lives like a nomad in Lucknow. That's our hometown. And mom's always been like a housewife. As per me, I'll tell you how I would describe myself. So I would describe myself as someone who's very ambitious, extremely ambitious, to a point where it's difficult for my own parents to actually digest that she's very aspirational. And how my friends would describe me would be like she's super bubbly, she's super fun loving. She at times got no control over her tongue when it comes to, being in an open environment. Super non-judgmental, like they come, they share the most stupidest thing with me or the most scariest thing with me, and I will always go back and give them a genuine advice without judging them, because I've always had the fear of being judged, and I ensure that, whenever someone comes to me or walks up to me, I have zero judgment about them. So yeah, that's how my friends would describe me.
Thank you. Thanks so much for your introduction. And so, what are some of the things that you really like or enjoy doing?
Apart from working, which apparently I work like 12 hours a day, almost every day, except for the weekends. But apart from that, I'm a very, very creative person. I took up making candles a couple of years, like 2 years ago. I still make candles, I sell them. Apart from that, I love painting, I love doing DIY projects. I'm like a DIY master. You give me anything and I will always look at it from a creative angle. How can I make it, and what good can I create from it? So I like doing that. Cooking again is I find it very, very therapeutic. Like cooking for myself or cooking for my family. I like cooking so much that at times my mother tells me, you're alone at home, and why do you cook such fancy meals for yourself? It's like, it's therapeutic. I find cooking very therapeutic. So yeah, that's what I do. I also love reading. Now it's kind of gone down the drain, but I love reading as well. I used to write. I was very good in writing as well. But yeah, that's kind of come to a full stop. But that's what I like.
You are
about.
such a creative person. I think I should have asked you, what is it that you don't like doing?
I don't think I kind of dislike anything. As like, like a certain thing which is around me. But one thing that I dislike is immaturity in people. Like, it's one thing to, to like joke around, to be funny, to have a good sense of humor, but it's a different thing to speak absolute nonsense when the topic's serious. So one thing that I dislike is immaturity in people, which you do come across when you work in corporate, okay? And this implies for corporate as well as my personal life as well.
Right.
I have very few friends, but then the friends that I have, I know that they are mature enough and they have a maturity level that matches mine. So hence the circle's small, and that's probably just the one thing that I dislike.
And I think you have put it across very well, and I think most of us would actually resonate with you. So
Right.
maturity is what we all are expecting in our personal life and professional life. And yeah, let's See, I'm sure all our audience would completely agree with this.
Definitely.
So moving on to the next section, which is about the career journey. So at what age did you start working?
Okay, so I think this section of career journey of how I started working and when I started working is the most interesting part of my life. I started working at professionally, actually, I started working at the age of 24, which I feel is pretty late. Uh, but then prior to that, I would like do freelancing events and also I've been working since a long time at this point.
Very nice. So do you remember your very first job interview and the experience?
Yes, I definitely do. And just to describe my first job interview, it was the only job interview that I ever gave. Because I've been working in one organization for a very long time at this point, almost 7 years. So I'm not scared of commitments. For people who say that, okay, you're scared to commit, so I'm not scared of commitment. I've committed 7 years of my life to one company where I've grown a lot. Talking about my first job interview, it lasted barely for 10 minutes because it was like I was a fresher. All they needed to check was whether I'll be stable in the company, how are my comms, that is it. So they only asked me that why did I have a gap of like almost 4 years uh, after my education. I only had to describe that and what I do in my free time basically. So yeah, that I think 3 rounds they got over like in 10-15 minutes maximum.
Okay. All right. So you remember exactly what happened during the interview. That's nice because that barely people can remember, and that too when you have already spent a lot of time with one organization. That's really good. And so, what made you decide to start working? Like, was it a personal goal or financial challenges or responsibilities or family expectations or something else?
Okay, so just to give you a little background, okay, I was a medical student, and yeah, I was a medical student, and I was in my third year, and due to some family reasons, I was asked to drop out and move back to Bombay home. And then I knew that, because I belong to a conservative Muslim family, I knew what the future would look like in the next 6 months. That after I go home, they'll find someone eligible for me and then I have to get married. And in my life, I have seen bad marriages more than good marriages. And one major reason why women still stay in a bad marriage, in an abusive marriage, is because of the financial stability. Because they are not financially stable, they've never worked in their life, they don't know what to do after, even if they decide to move out from their, husband's house. So, one thing that I did not want in life was to be financially dependent on someone. And I decided to work. I randomly, I never had any working background professionally, okay, and the professional career background that I have was way different than what I am doing right now, the job that I was applying for. But I just thought, okay, let me just give the interview, see if I'm getting selected or no, and if I get selected, that's fine, I might as well earn something. And I knew that my parents would be super upset with this step. So, kind of didn't tell them that I've started working. Waited until the timeline of, it's like, okay, now you have to come home tomorrow, Gulab Shah. Waited until that. Told them. They were pretty mad. They were super upset with me. Dealt with it in a way that I shouldn't, but yeah. Later, I think after a month or so, I reached out to them. I was like, and in this month and a half, I had no contact with them, so they didn't really know if I was okay or no. But then I told them that I started working, and I'm happy with what I'm doing, and they were like okay with it. And after that, they were still not okay with me working because no one in my entire khandan has like a woman in my entire khandan has ever gone out, stepped out of the house and had a career professionally. So I was like the one person in the entire bloodline to begin this.
Nice.
And yeah, matlab, they were upset then, but they told me a lot of things that till date it pricks me at times if I think about it. But yeah, now I'm the daughter that they're proud of. So well done.
Very nice. So I think pretty much all women would actually agree with this thing, that all of us, when we actually took a step to be independent, maybe most of the time our families have been against our decisions. However, eventually they have been proud of the same. So I can
Absolutely.
completely understand what you must have gone through, but kudos to you for this.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It actually took a lot of courage to do what I did, and I'm happy and I'm proud of my own self that I actually did it, because then now, dad completely retired, and then all the responsibilities and everything is on me. So something that started because I wanted to be financially dependent on myself, I'm happy that I'm able to make my father okay, it's okay, your days are over of working, you relax, you chill, let me take up the responsibility. At times it gets overwhelming, but yeah, it's a part of life.
Right. But then that one responsible girl of the family.
Yes.
Good. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you so much.
So when you look back, would you still choose the same career path?
If I look back right now, then I really had no other skill. So yeah, I would still choose the same career path, because this career path has helped me grow in a very short span of time, and it was very unexpected. I did not expect that from myself as well. I would still go back and choose the same career path.
Very well. So moving ahead to the next section, which is professional life and skills. So tell us about your current role and what do you do professionally?
Alright, so right now I'm at a leadership position in my company, and role, I don't know how to describe it, but we're basically in revenue management, okay, and all I can say is that it's a very challenging role.
I am sure. See, no job is easy. So yeah. So I mean, if I have to put it across in other words, what are your key strengths, specialities, or skills, and what part of your job do you really enjoy doing?
Okay, so the part of my job that I really enjoy doing is able to handle how challenging it gets at times, alright. My key strengths at this point would be, people management to a certain extent. And apart from that, understanding, the expectation of the higher management, understanding the expectation of the program that I'm responsible for, at the same time understanding the expectation of my team, and to able to manage all three of them, I think, and how all three of them are interlinked with each other, and there's a certain way that you deal with your team, there's a certain way that you deal with your upper management, and there's a certain way how you handle the requirements of the program that you're responsible for, and all of these three go hand in hand, and to make all three work together is something that I feel at this point I have mastered to a certain extent, and yeah, that is what I feel my strength is, to understand and to make things work.
Very nice. So, what skills do you think are most important to survive and grow in today's corporate world? Now that you have already done so much and you've been with one organization, I'm sure you have a lot to talk.
Definitely, definitely. There's a lot to talk about. So, to answer your question, okay, that what is the one thing that one requires in order to, be in the corporate world and be, someone who's looking to climb the ladder. I don't know if it's put across correctly or no, but one thing that you need to, the one very basic thing that I feel that very few people have at the ground level is acceptance. Okay, acceptance if something's asked of you, acceptance if something's told to you. A lot of people don't like criticism, but what people fail to understand is that if you accept that criticism and if you find a way to work through it, and if you find a way to ensure that whatever the criticism or the feedback was, okay, probably sometime later you're in a position where you're able to do exactly what was told to you, and that will only come if you accept whatever is being told to you. So I feel that one basic thing that we all, people who are in the corporate world and who are, looking to grow in the corporate world need to learn is acceptance.
Right, right, absolutely correct. So, not only taking the criticism, I think if there's an employee and they understand that criticism is for their own benefit,
Right.
so I think then they might be able to perceive it,
Right.
or accept it,
Right,
and
absolutely.
maybe able to work on it. So, very well put across.
What a lot of people fail to understand is that, they fail to look at the bigger picture. That okay, if this is told to me once, how is it going to help me? So with me, like professionally or even personally, I probably learned this personally, and I kind of went back and implemented this professionally. That if something wrong is happening, a lot of times in work as well, not a lot of things go as per plan, right? Also in personal life, not a lot of things will go as per plan, but how I have learned to look at things is that what is it trying to teach me? This is what I've understood personally, and then I went back and implemented it professionally. Something's not going right, what can I do to fix it? Second, what is it trying to teach me?
Correct.
That is a perspective that I feel that if one possesses, it's a long way for them to go ahead.
Absolutely correct. Right, and I completely agree with you on this. So, in what ways has your career helped you personally, or helped you like personally or professionally?
So, my career professionally, uh, everything that I've learned from the time I got into management, I've learned a lot of things in a very short span of time. Hence, I am at a position where I am right now. So,
How has working professionally changed you?
okay. Working professionally, one aspect that it has changed me is that it's made me a very empathetic person. So, when you have a team to handle, तुम्हें सबके इमोशन समझने होते हैं, राइट? एवरीवन's not the same. Probably one employee वो बहुत जॉली होता है. Second employee would be someone who will only understand logic. So, and when you tell them anything, या जब भी आप उनको feedback share करते हो या कोई भी चीज़ के लिए कुछ भी बोलते हो, तो they all perceive it in different ways. All right. A lot of them will not say anything, but a lot of them will backfire, right? So human nature, human tendency ये है कि हम immediately respond करते हैं, especially if something's negative, right? So how my professional career has changed me in my personal life is to understand where that person's coming from. If someone's giving me a certain answer, I need to understand why did that person say it.
So you've been able to put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah,
and
very
understand
well.
their perspective.
Correct. And personally, I was एक टाइम पे बहुत मुंहफट, like very raw. जो है वो बोल दिया, जो आया वो बोल दिया. I would never think twice. But now it has changed me कि understand where that person's coming from. Mature है कि नहीं, immature तो नहीं है, वो situation, वो aspect में. So become more empathetic. I've become more empathetic towards people in my personal life as well. जैसे मम्मी चिल्लाती थी पहले, तो I would respond and react immediately. But now, even if she's reacting, I try and understand where she's coming from and then deal with it accordingly. Like not react or respond immediately.
राइट अगर हम सब ये समझ जाए कि सामने वाला क्या सोच के हमसे क्या कह रहा है, और अगर हम उसकी भावनाओं को ध्यान में रखते हुए अगर हम रिस्पॉन्ड करें, सो आई थिंक चीज़ें बहुत आसान हो जाएंगी.
Right.
सो या दैट्स अ वेरी गुड थॉट. थैंक यू.
It makes one kind, you know, you read these quotes which say that
kindness is free.
Yeah, kindness is free. Be kind to people. You don't know what they're dealing with. I think this is like one thing that you can bring in your life or incorporate in your personality, which will actually make the world a kinder place.
True. और हमें भी तो वही अच्छा लगता है.
Correct.
So maybe treat others as we want to be treated.
Absolutely.
With kindness, that means, right? So thank you. Very true. So moving on to the next section. What do employees genuinely expect from a workplace today?
Okay, considering that now we have a lot of Gen Z population coming in, what they expect is a chill work environment. Something, you know, like it has to be super chill, things should go as per them, their bosses should listen to them, their bosses should consider what they are expecting from us. It's become like कि हमारी expectation बाद में है, उनकी expectation पहले. When you actually sit with an employee for expectation setting, तो पहले वो बताते हैं कि मेरी तो ये expectation है, मुझे ऐसा चाहिए. बाद में हमारी expectation आती है. But when you talk about the millennial, all they're looking at is calm and peace at work, and for them to be treated with kindness. I think that is what a basic expectation an employee has at this particular time.
True. I also have my whole team filled with Gen Zs, and I can completely understand that. So according to you, what makes a workplace great?
So my perspective in terms of a good workplace may differ as compared to a lot of other people. How I look at it is that if I personally want a workplace to be great, I would like to accept challenges. If it's very mundane, it becomes very boring. For me, my workplace to be great, there has to be some sort of thrill, some sort of adrenaline rush, and that will only come for me. It will come if I'm given a challenge. It gets stressful for me, but I like it. I enjoy it. Like end of the day, when I go home and I hit the bed, I'm like, yay, today was an achievement. But if I talk from a leadership standpoint, okay, and what my employees expect is again an environment where they're comfortable, an environment where they feel heard, an environment where they know that okay, if I walk up to this person with any issues, this person will resolve it for me. And again, money is for everyone. Everyone wants to make money, earn good amount. Apart from that, I feel that for people to be heard, for people to be seen, people to be appreciated, that is what makes a workplace good.
Absolutely. I'm sure a lot of our listeners would get a lot of takeaway from this. So yeah, that's true. And I also somehow feel that if there is no adrenaline rush, I don't think I can survive in that kind of work environment.
It becomes very boring.
Absolutely. And no boring work. Alright, so what matters more to employees today? I think you've already answered, but then let's be more specific. Is it salary, culture, growth, flexibility, leadership, or work-life balance?
So this differs from people to people. There will be a set of people who are looking to grow. So for them, what matters is the steps that they can take or the challenges that they can overcome in order to grow. All right. In today's work culture, I feel a lot of people talk about work-life balance. according to me, there is no work-life balance. There is always priorities, and how you can prioritize your personal life and your professional life, what needs more attention. But in today's world, what people want is a good culture in their office environment, in their corporate environment. I think, and that is why most people stay for a longer time in a particular office, because the culture is nice. They like the culture. They don't want to leave because probably somewhere they've heard horror stories about bad work culture. So work culture is very important, and I think that that is what most employees look for in order to stay in an organization.
Correct. Absolutely correct. Thank you. So, what are the common mistakes that organizations make with employees?
I feel, I don't know how much right this is, but again, this is just my way of looking at things. Is that common mistake, and I can only point out one at this point, is that they don't make their people feel valuable. And how can you make an employee feel valuable is by addressing them, not only work-wise, like just go have a casual talk with them. Like how you on a Monday probably ask them what did they do on their weekend. I mean, that's what my super boss does with me. What did you do for a weekend? So they also feel that, okay, this is not just limited to work. This is a little bit adding a personal touch. Always will ensure that your employees are there and they're loyal to you. One mistake that corporate people make is not make their employees feel valuable, not make their employees feel heard, and that's my take on the mistake.
Right. So, what do you think? What makes an employee motivated, or for employees to stay loyal to the organization?
I feel appreciation goes a very long way. Appreciation
Right.
goes a very long way. Even if your employee is doing one little thing extra and you go and you appreciate them, it makes their day. It makes them motivated. It makes them happy. Probably for the next 2 days, they'll be like super pumped up. Okay, she appreciated me, or my boss appreciated me. And what I feel is missed out because of, okay, I've got this and I've got that and got that to do in work is, appreciation towards the employees.
Right. That is what makes them feel valued.
Correct.
At workplace.
Correct.
Very well put across. So now now that you've shared these things and you have had your personal experiences, so what do employees expect from leadership teams today?
Okay, so I think I at this point I feel it would be repetitive, but again, what employees expect from their leadership is to be valued, to be heard, and I think that is the basic expectation from them at
And
this
that's
point.
that's bare minimum.
Correct.
Okay. So according to you, what makes a good leader or a manager, a good manager?
So for example, I'll describe this with an example. Okay. So for example, what do I expect from my leader or my manager? Okay, that first be nice to me, because in the basic, I mean, in leadership, when you're a leader, when you're at a leadership position, okay, you unknowingly become mean at times. You're not aware that whatever I'm saying is not being put across correctly. So be nice to me, okay? Don't be mean to me. That is one thing that employees would not appreciate. So basic expectation would be that you be nice to me. All right. If I am coming up to you with a particular concern or a query, okay, I'm coming to you because I don't know the solution. Now there are two bosses in this situation, okay? One who will tell you, go figure it out yourself, and then you rack your brain to find out the solution. but what an expectation from an employee from leadership is, or from their bosses is, that I've come to you with a problem. I've come to you because I want a solution. So give me a solution, right? So what they need is from leadership is for a solution. Anytime they walk up to their managers that, okay, I'm stuck here, I don't know what to do. Bare minimum would be to be kind with them and to tell them what the solution is.
Just help them navigate, maybe.
Correct.
Right?
Absolutely
they will find
right.
a solution eventually.
Correct.
But just show them a pathway.
Correct.
Or guide them, right?
Correct.
Right.
And it's very important to not shut them off, because if you shut them off once, they'll never walk up to you the second time. Always, always, always hear them out, because then you lose that bond.
And that's when that manager gets labeled as unapproachable.
Correct. Absolutely right.
Okay, so I think this is a universal question, and maybe I'm asking it on the behalf of all our audiences, especially the employees. So, what role should HR ideally play in an organization?
My personal expectation from an HR would be, so now HR plays a very important role when it comes to hiring, right? When you hire someone, all right, you're selling them how you see your own organization. So it's important for them to be happy in their own work culture, to be happy in their own organization, because then you're selling that to the person that you're hiring, right? And also a little feedback for no offense to the HR hiring community.
I'm sure HR community is used to this, so go ahead. And yeah, since HR always gives feedback, so they would always love to be on the other side of the table and listen to the feedbacks coming from an HR. Yes.
So when you're hiring, right, set the right expectation, because a lot of times the challenge what we face when the transition of an employee happens from hiring to training and then to operations is that at times there are wrong expectations set. Then it gets difficult for us to make that employee understand that why this was said, and then set the correct expectation.
Right.
So that one thing.
That's true. I am sure हमारे HR community वाले will take this feedback very seriously, and I personally have made a note of this.
No offense, I'm sorry if this is
No, this is very valid point, and you have rightly said this, and it's very essential. So, do you think the organization today focuses enough on employees' well-being and growth?
I think now it has started, from the time people have started talking about mental health and mental well-being and all of that. That is when it has come more into picture of people. I mean, especially the employee relations team working up to the employees, checking on them, having a one-on-one session. So I feel that it has started now, but I think we can still get a little more creative in terms of understanding employee well-being, and can conduct some sort of activity with them which will make them feel good, or just have go a little beyond and speak to them on a little more personal aspect of life rather than just work culture. I think that will help in terms of the thinking about the well-being of the employees.
Okay, so in continuation to this, so what do you think HR teams should improve on, in modern workplaces?
Alright, so one thing that I feel HR teams should improve in modern workplaces is employee interaction.
Correct.
A little more of employee interaction, because employees, their first point of contact is their team leaders or their managers or something in that hierarchy, their first point of contact is. And when HR comes into picture, they speak to them once in a while. Even employees, they are not true to the interaction that they have with the HR. right? So if I feel that if the HR interaction or the employee relation interaction with the employees is like more on a regular basis than conducting it like once in a quarter or something, that will actually matter a lot.
True.
Even in terms of retentions as well.
So I think what you're trying to say is the presence of HR has to be felt.
Correct.
People need to feel that the HR is also available
Correct.
for them.
Correct.
So yeah, that's true. I agree with it, and I'm sure most of our people, audience would also agree with it.
Right.
So moving on, what are your personal or professional goals for future?
Personal goal is to have peace in life.
I thought you were going to say getting married.
That's become very secondary for me. Like, I don't think about it. I've left it in the hands of the universe, the God, and my parents that when it's the right time it's going to happen. I don't think about it. I can talk about this so much that we'll have to probably have a different podcast altogether. Is on when is Gulab Shah getting married? So a personal goal in life is to become more calm, is to have more peace, live a slow life. I don't I mean, I think I'm achieving and I'm doing good in terms of profession, but in personal life I think I need to slow down. Like, I can't be running around at home also in office. So just to have like a slow life at home, and probably to build like a little side hustle which explores the creative part of me, because I feel that on days, just to give you a little example, okay, on days when I create something, for example, on a day if I'm painting something or I'm making something like a DIY thing, my energy levels are at its peak. Although I may have spent like 4 hours breaking my back doing a DIY project, but still if you ask me to work for another 8 hours, I can do it at the same energy level. That is how pumped up creativity gets me. So yeah, creating like a little side hustle just for me, which is just mine, and no one can take it away from you sort of situation. That, and a little bit of slow life.
Wow. So I'm really excited and curious to actually see the projects that you have made, like the candles. And your artwork,
paintings,
right?
artwork.
So maybe we will have another session.
Definitely, we should.
Maybe an elaborated one.
Professionally, I mean, I want to learn. I'm very curious about learning. I want to learn more. I want to get more understanding of how businesses work, and always to be at the top.
That's really good. That's really nice, because see, learning never ends. I strongly believe in that, and coming from you, I'm really happy that that we still have people believing in this.
Absolutely, I think that curiosity of learning is what gets you places.
True.
Someone just sitting and doing a mundane work, it's like you're like at a dead zone. There's nothing there. But if you're curious about learning, you keep asking questions. I think that is what gets you up and higher.
Correct. So is there something that you still want to achieve in your life or career?
Of course I do. Like there are multiple levels that I still want to get to.
It's like abhi to shuru kiya hai.
Abhi to shuru kiya hai.
Okay.
There are still like professionally I want to grow more. I want to see how far I can explore that part.
I want to wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So if given a chance to change one thing in corporate culture today, what would it be?
Bring in a therapist.
Okay. Well, but then even if that has been put across jokingly, I think it's very serious kind of concern.
Yes.
Okay. Now that everybody is paying attention to well-being, mental health, everywhere it is being spoken about, I think it is very crucial. So you have put across a very valid point. I was not expecting you to mention this. So, okay. So I think this is going to be my last question. Before we move to the next section, what advice would you give to the freshers or young professionals entering the corporate world?
I don't know if I'm the kind of person who would give advice, or you feel I'm the kind of person who would take advice from me. But one advice would be that whenever you hear something from anyone, when you enter a corporate world, okay, listen to respond, not to react. This is what we preach heavily in our team. So listen to respond, not to react, because that will only help you. That will only help you have a calmer life or a better life in office. All right. You will not screw your own mental peace. Second, would be stay curious to learn. I think learning is one aspect that we've been doing from the very childhood, and we studied, we learned, we passed an exam, we moved forward, and I think that is the only mantra to move forward, is to be curious, keep learning, keep asking questions. That will take you a long way.
Correct. Beautiful. Thank you so much. So, are you ready for the fun part now?
Oh.
HRs are known for fun. So, although it's not going to be the Rangoli, I'm sorry to disappoint the audience. Alright?
I would have done a good job in Rangoli as well.
I am sure. You are an artist, you mentioned that. And like I said, we are going to have a whole another session around your artwork.
Yes.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Okay. So our content creator has also made a note of it. Okay. So this is going to be a rapid fire round.
Okay.
And you have to respond rapidly.
Okay.
Instantly.
Okay.
Are we ready? Okay. Very basic questions.
Okay. I'm good.
Right. Here we go. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Work from home or office?
Office.
Strict manager or friendly manager?
Friendly manager anytime.
Salary, peace of mind.
Peace of mind.
Work-life balance or promotion?
Promotion.
Okay, there you go. True. For somebody like you, workaholic, yes, very important. Okay. Corporate party or weekend sleep?
One weekend corporate party, one weekend sleep.
Okay. One word to describe corporate life.
Hustle.
Very well. I think you've done very well in this rapid fire round. So with this, we have come to the end of our session, and you have answered the questions very well. There's a lot of takeaway for us, for me being in HR, and I'm sure for the employees and management and corporate. So thank you so much for coming in the show and sharing with us your journey, experience and honest thoughts with us. And I'm sure our audience will relate to many of the insights you have shared today. This was our very first episode of Life Behind ID Card, where we bring forward the real stories behind corporate life. Thank you everyone for watching and listening to us. See you in the next episode. Thank you.